Let's talk about sidechain compression. What it is, why we might want to use it, when to use it, and how to use it, including a couple of demos. That's what's coming up. I'm Keith from No Label, No Producer, No Limits.com. Let's dive right in. What is sidechaining? Well, sidechain compression is when you use compression to lower the volume of one instrument when another instrument plays. Normal compression, we have the audio input and the detector circuit working off the same signal. In other words, we plug a bass into the audio input of the compressor, and the bass level determines how much compression comes in. But what if we separate the audio input and the detector circuitry? In other words, the bass guitar comes into the audio input. However, let's say a kick drum, a bass drum, comes into the detector circuit. And now the compressor compresses the bass when the kick drum hits. That's sidechaining. And that's one of the main uses of sidechaining. Another is to duck background music when there's narration going on. But sidechaining can be used anytime two instruments are playing and you want one to come down in volume when the other starts. Okay, let's look at sidechaining for narration. In narration, you might have some background music and you might want to lower it a little bit whenever the vocals come in. However, this same concept can work for anything, any instruments. You could have a guitar solo and you want the rhythm guitars to fade into the background a little bit. You could use this same technique. So here we have a narration track and a background music track. I'm going to add a compressor to the background music track. Let's do a couple different ones here. I'm going to do this in C76, Series 2 from Toucan. And I'm also going to add this JS1175. I'm going to go over here to this 2-in, 2-out button. And this only has 2 channels available. So this isn't going to work for sidechaining. I just wanted to show you that not every compressor has sidechain ability. So I'm going to remove that one. If we look at this Toucan, we can see it has 4 possible inputs. We can go in the regular way with audio, or we can use the sidechain left and right, and that's what we're going to do. Now, the simplest way to set this up is simply drag from the route button of the track that you want to control the compression to the compressor on the track that you wish to turn down. So now we have it set up, audio 1 and 2 from the narration into inputs 3 and 4 on the compressor. Any compressor that has sidechaining capabilities will have something like this. This is SC-key. That means sidechaining or key input. And now we'll be able to see the narration compress the background music. Potato bugs can grow up to 7 meters in height. Their natural foods are buffalo and corn. Having already infiltrated the defense computer systems of the major superpowers, potato bugs will soon be our overlords. Please join me in welcoming them. Okay, you can hear that pumping a little bit. I'm going to set this attack for fairly fast, and the release is going to be pretty darn slow because I want this to be a little bit smoother. It sounds like perhaps the background music is a little bit loud. So let's pull that down a little bit and let's see where we're at. Potato bugs can grow up to 7 meters in height. Their natural foods are buffalo and corn. Having already infiltrated the defense computer systems of the major superpowers, potato bugs will soon be our overlords. Please join me in welcoming them. And there you hear the music coming up a little bit more smoothly. It's a little bit pumping, so I could change the gain, turn it down a little bit, would get us a nice smooth ducking of the background music tracks while the narration is going. Every word of that narration was true, by the way. Okay, let's take a look at how to sidechain so that a bass guitar ducks every time a kick drum hits. What I have here is 3 tracks. I have my kick drum close mic on track 1. I have a stereo mix of the rest of the drums on track 2, and that includes room and overhead mics. And I have a bass guitar on track 3. Let's listen to see what we've got going individually and together. Now, frankly, I'm plenty happy with how the kick and the bass drum are interacting, but let's just pretend we want the kick drum to come through a little bit better. So we're going to set up side chaining here. So the first thing I'll do is add a compressor. I'm going to go with the recomp. Basically, we want the compressor to turn down the bass guitar the instant the kick drum hits and last about as long as the kick drum lasts. So I'm going to put the attack at 0 milliseconds and even add just a little bit of pre-comp here. And we'll have the releases medium fast, and we'll play with that as we go. The ratio is something reasonable here, maybe 4:1, 5:1, and I'm going to change the detector input. Now, the detector input is the part of the compressor that triggers the compression, right? It interacts with the threshold. I'm going to change that to aux inputs because I want to send another track over here to the aux inputs to trigger the compressor. And that is going to be the kick drum. So let's route the kick drum to the bass. But instead of sending the kick drum copy that we're making here to the audio inputs, we're just going to route it off into the aux inputs. And we should see the kick drum triggering the compressor once we lower the threshold. Let's do that. I don't know if you can hear that, but the kick drum is just a little bit heftier with the bass turned down. So what I'm going to do is exaggerate this to see if we can hear it better. Okay, maybe you can hear that, but if we solo up the bass guitar now, we'll probably hear too much pumping, but this will give us a good way to mess with the attack and the release controls and maybe the pre-comp in order to set the compressor to the timing of the kick. Okay, there you have the kick coming through just a little bit more clearly with this side chaining in. So once again, we added a compressor, fast attack time, fairly quick release time. That's much quicker than I expected. Reasonable ratio. Set it for aux inputs. We route the kick over there, make sure the kick is routed to the aux inputs. And then we lower the threshold till we see maybe 5 or 6 dB of gain reduction. Adjust it to taste, and we have a kick that comes through just a little bit more clearly. If you look below the video, you'll see an article or a link to an article with more information about sidechain compression, including download links for any of the resources mentioned in the video. Now, since you've watched this far, it's apparent that the video content is valuable to you, and I don't want you to miss out. So like, subscribe, share, comment, ring the bell if you're on YouTube, and that way you'll get future updates. That's Sidechain Compression. I'm Keith from No Label, No Producer, No Limits.com. Bye for now.